A way the 40th could end. Now, this is an interesting topic because they're not saying how, like, EastEnders could end. They're saying how the end of the Chris Clenshaw, the Chrissy CC era will end. The Chris Clenshaw era will end because obviously Chris Clenshaw is stepping down after the 40th. So this is a way of saying what is Chris Clenshaw got up his sleeve, which is very
What's the
interesting.
swan song, essentially?
What is his swan
And
song?
this is a theory by Ornery Tension, and they are describing a way the 40th could end. Once again, just time to remind us, because as Piggy said pretty aptly, the 40th anniversary is the end of the Chris Clenshaw era, and that means that we will, you know, he wants to bow out with a fucking flourish, right? It's kind of the perfect timing because he gets the show in a pretty dodgy place and then has his fucking, all right, fully support me no matter what I do, please. And they go, yeah, Sam, we can do that. And so he's had a solid, like, 3 years of genuine, like, unfiltered Chris Clenshaw EastEnders goodness. Whether people like it or not is another thing entirely. Not everybody's enjoyed this era. But as it was said, he doesn't want to end his fucking... Look, if you spent the last 3 years eating beans and it's really blocked you up, you want that final. You want that fight. You want that. And let's say you've been constipated for ages. I know you die, but like anyway, it's a metaphor. Fuck, it doesn't need to be fucking. Doesn't need to make sense. And you're finally able to shit, and suddenly, and then it's just a big fart, and you're like, what the fuck's the point in all this shit that I've just been through to just have a fucking fart? What is this nonsense?
I guess an appropriate one is, because I watched the video so I can fucking make this. An appropriate one is you make Joker 1, you give Todd Phillips a massive amount of money, you make Joker 2 and it's shit. He deliberately makes it shit because he doesn't want to do Joker 2. He deliberately makes it shit, just like he did with The Hangover Part 3. Fuck him. That's exactly like that.
Yeah, clearly, yeah. What fucking... Yeah, the Hangover movies aren't even that good.
No, but people were saying, like, because that's what he basically does when he does not want to make another movie. He basically goes, offer me money. Okay, here's a big bag. I'm going to make it my way. Okay, make it your way. It's shit now. Well, I got the money.
Yeah.
Fuck you. So that's why you don't want it to be like that. You want to actually...
you want the power to go to his head, but you'd imagine he's a... Like, obviously, at the time, we'll go through... After the 40th, we'll likely do a bunch of content, kind of going like, all right, how do we review this era of the show? Was it good? Was it bad? What are the shortcomings? What are some of the... What's like, a bunch easy fucking videos of me, like, what's the best stuff he did of the era? What's the worst things? That shit's great. Love that. We're doing that. But yeah, here is a theory from the r/EastEnders subreddit suggesting how the 40th could end. Excuse me, fucking hell. I hadn't invested in the Cindy and Junior affair, but it got me thinking about something, and now I'm wondering if I didn't give it enough credit. The affair is set up for Cindy to eventually make a choice between Ian, David, and George. Which one she truly loves, and which one she truly loves, and which one she'll be with. Each one represents one of the eras she's been in the show with, Ian in the 80s, David in the 90s, and George being in the 2020s. This story might be about which man can Cindy find peace, and which will find peace with Cindy, and maybe another layer in which era Cindy loves most. This will close out Cindy forever, since chances are she won't be around for something like the 50th. And the same with Ian or David. Mate, Ian's still there for the 50th, come on.
He's there till the 70th.
Mate, Ian will be in the bog for the next 10 years, but he'll still be there.
Well, it depends how
he just occasionally flushes just to make sure you know he's there.
But no, he's just got... It depends how the next writer views him. Just don't forget the last writer...
You can... Yeah, the last one did fucking hate Ian, but...
Yeah, I know.
He's royalty, he's staying. He wants to be the next Dot.
Yeah, no, I know. But if you're being given shit to write with, they're obviously like... if they keep saying, okay, you're gonna hit women, that's not my character. You're gonna hit women, Ian, and he's forced to hit women.
That
Obviously,
was
you're gonna
one
leave.
time.
Yeah, it's one time, but you know what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
it depends on what a writer wants to do with you. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this made me realise is Clenshaw is putting couples together or trying to put them on a path where he feels like they need to end up for basically the rest of their lives. Like Ben being in prison, winky face. Tongue in cheek. This came up a lot during Chrissy's return. Not only did Chrissy finally get peace by going up with Jake, and we can trust she can live happily with him, but Chrissy and Sharon also discussed Dennis and how Dennis will always be the one for Sharon. If it were possible, Sharon will drop everything to be able to be with Dennis and Denny again. Well, see ya. I'm going off to the little fucking village in the sky. See ya. Want to be reunited with my family, the one true love. That start. Going back further in December 2023, Stacey and Jack have a conversation where they speak up Ronnie and Bradley, both how no one can ever compare to them, and that in a perfect world that's who they'd be with. Of course, there's also storylines like Linda missing Mick, or Kat and Alfie versus Kat and Phil situation. Getting Billy and Honey back together is another, and so much of Lola's storyline was her saying that Jay was the person and they were always meant to find one another again. Even after the way everything went down, Kathy seems devoted to Rocky, and it seems he's the only husband that she has felt something truly good with. Despite being with Reese in the past year, Sonia has constantly mentioned Jamie and brought up him, talking about what he meant to her. It seems to be a running theme for Chris Clenshaw's era that has been putting people in place with the person they're meant to be with, and the person that will fulfill them completely, or characters reflecting on their past losses and feeling like they'll only be complete if they get to see that person again. If the 40th anniversary were to bring a major character death, I was thinking that it could be Linda. I was thinking that what might occur is Linda reverts back to alcohol or no more alcohol and the damage to her body is already done because the police still don't believe she killed Keanu. They continue to feel that she's lying, and other women plus the men involved tell Linda she has to keep quiet and are able to create solid statements where nothing falls back on them or Linda. Linda is consumed by guilt and the stress and ends up needing a liver transplant, something in that matter, and passing away due to surgery complications. Linda will pass, but will be able to move on to something better as she steps up in the Vic and she can take her place with Mick behind the bar. Fucking hell. A bit like 2023's Lock-In episode, the Vic is lined up with characters as the camera pans through the final episode moments and sitting our various paintings come into sight. Kevin and Bradley speaking with each other as they wait for Denise and Stacey. Jamie, who's waiting for Sonia at a table beside them. Dennis and Denny, who finally get to meet one another, share time together, and know they'll see Sharon again eventually. Ronnie and Roxy being able to smile with one another while two empty seats are there for Jack and Sean. Well, Sean did initially almost kill himself for Roxy's death. Gene thankfully stopped him, and it would be nice eventually if he can return to having lived a fulfilling life with her and his sister. Just like one of those fucking lawyer contracts at the end. And if you lose a case, you'll be paying 10% more on your lawyer fees. Thank you very much. So what? It's tiny. Perhaps if Rocky were to pass on, maybe he can be waiting for Kathy too. In the event that Sharon dies instead of Linda, we could see Mick behind the bar waiting for Linda, and then go to Dennis and Denny. So made me consider that. Fuck me, this is long.
Oh, so hold on here.
Made me consider characters that have been.
Hold on here. So wait, everyone gets to see everyone behind the Queen Vic, but fucking Cindy doesn't get to see Cindy Jr. or Lucy Beale.
Yeah, but Lucy's not. I mean, Cindy's not dying.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, well, it's just it's basically if these people die, they'll be reunited, and it'll be a fucking allegory for heaven. You know, EastEnders heaven in the Queen Vic. If that hasn't gotten across, that is the whole point of this fucking theory. Let me consider characters that have never been all that good in love, or have been terrible to those they've claimed to love. Ian, Max, who's bound to be back for the 40th, Phil and Grant, another very likely return. These are characters that would not have a woman waiting for them, but I still think there's a place for them. On another table, Lucy and Abby could be together. If there's one person that Ian's heart will probably always long for, it's Lucy. He wants to see his daughter again. Ian may think Cindy or any woman is what his life needs, but that's not true. His true peace would to be able to see Lucy happy. Lola at the bar where her picture stood waiting for Jay. Max is no woman that he ever truly loved or that loved him. Seeing Abby again would allow him to put her death right and heal that wound. One detail that I think would make this is if the kids were not the age they'd passed, but the age as if they'd grown up the way we see them now. That way there's an implication that they've had a peaceful life in the afterlife and were able to experience much. Sharon, Ian and Max can all see the kids grown, knowing they lived life to the fullest. As the scene ends, outside the Vic should be Peggy, almost specifically a figure resembling Peggy, holding a picture of Phil, Grant and Sam as kids like they were in the flashback episode. 3 of them may not have had a positive romances, but they can meet Peggy again and maybe have the family bond they've missed out on. I'm not entirely sure if Peggy should be a young Peggy like we saw in the flashback episode, or if it should be the older Peggy that was in the show proper. Both versions of Peggy represent different things, and I'm not sure which will be able to be the better one to be able to meet Phil, Grant, and Sam again. While not everyone is there yet, Linda seeing this world say to both her and the viewer that there is something better waiting for everyone. That a long way down the line eventually, everyone deserving of will find real peace and will be with those they love to fill whatever emptiness their characters have. So that was a pretty heavy theory, an interesting one about the afterlife and, being reunited with your loved ones. And I just want to say that if this happened, you send us subreddit. Well, it's fucking shit. This, what they even trying to do? Are they retconning all the deaths? Like, no. These characters are all dead. They're in heaven. They're retconning all the deaths. This is fucking shit. This, because you know what the EastEnders subreddit's like.
Obviously, when I die, I don't want any of my family to see me. I want to be reunited with that restaurant that closed down that did breakfast burritos. Fucking bring me back there, please.
But what do you think of the theory, though? I'll give mine first. I think it's a pretty good fucking theory. I think it's a bit too gimmicky for EastEnders. I'll be real with you. I do think it's a little bit too far-fetched for EastEnders. Like, Hollyoaks could do it. Hollyoaks could definitely fucking do it. But I like the idea that it's a way to mark the 40th anniversary. It's to celebrate everyone who's been and gone, and still that there is still, like, as much as characters may lose, in the end you are reunited with your family. It's a nice message, and it'd be a nice way to get some cool cameos, and a way to just show that, just glorify all the 40 years of the show, because that's something you need to do. You need to. It's the weird thing where, but see, you still have Sharon and Ian from the 80s, but everyone else is fucked off. So, like, it feels like you need a character from each decade of the show in order to fully, like, I'm not saying bring back Lofty for a little time period, but, bring someone back from the 80s who is still recognizable.
What about that jolly fat man from the 80s?
Jolly fat man.
Who drove like a fan. His kid was Kelvin.
Oh, Tony Carpenter.
Tony Carpenter. Bring him back.
But like, it feels like you because a 40th anniversary, you need to build on the history to make something greater. And that's kind of a struggle thing. This was, I'm sure this was why Chris Clenshaw's magnum opus is the 6 storyline. Now, admittedly, that storyline has sagged on a little bit. Even I'm not really a big fan of the 6 storyline in its current form. Because it is still a whodunit, and all whodunits are shit in the aftermath unless it's revealed in a month, and you get a month of, like, it was Lisa who shot Phil, spoilers. But it's supposed to play on history and references to the Den Watts. Was that what, the 20th roughly? I don't fucking know.
The 20th would have been who killed Den Watts, because Den Watts would have fought 3 women in the bar. The 10th anniversary, I have no fucking clue. I don't think they celebrated it.
I don't know.
Obviously the 30th was Lucy dying.
Yes. But the 35th was the River Thames, like, boat crash.
And the 15th was who killed Archie Mitchell.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, you want to build on the history in order to make you build on the history to make the current show feel more important because there will be a lot of eyes on it at the time. But I like it, but this is what you do if EastEnders ends, in my opinion. If EastEnders ends, you say fuck it, let's get everybody back one last time. Not bring them back from the dead, but like you have a version of everybody like celebrating life at the end, you know.
And do you know what plays? Do you know what plays as the final bell rings in the Queen Vic?
The jazz theme.
No, closing time.
That's fine. It's always the jazz theme.
No, it's not.
Yeah, what do you think of this theory?
Closing time. The bell rings. I like it, but I don't really think you should do it. If you're doing it for any anniversary, do it for the 50th, not the 40th. Because the 50th, then you have 50 years. So you could, 50 years. Here's the past, here's the present. The 40th has to be not as big because this might sound like I'm lowballing the 40th, but the 40th in comparison to a 50th is not going to be, as impactful. It's still going to be impactful, but like, if you're 40 years old, which
I mean, they still have to get there, yeah.
Yes. But if you're 40, the
50th is not guaranteed.
Yeah,
a lot can change in a decade.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna hope there's a 50th. But I do like this theory. I just wouldn't kill Linda off because I'm still. It's like when they killed off Angie and they brought Den back. It would have been fun to see what Angie.
It would have been much. It would be absurd for there to never be a Mick and Linda reunion.
Yes, if Linda goes down to prison, you could have Mick come back and fight for her to get her back. You could do that. But again, my problem is with the Mick is when is it too late and when is it too soon? Because that's because I want it to be like Den Watt's return, where obviously you wait about a decade. It was nearly 2 decades actually, and you bring him back. But I don't know if EastEnders is around in 2 decades, so I don't know if you bring him back in a decade, say. Because
I'd probably bring him back in like 5 years.
Because you don't want to bring him back right now, because right now it's only been 2 years since his death, and that feels a bit too soon, in my opinion. I say this, if they announced it today that he was coming back, I'd be fucking shocked. But at the same time, I don't want Linda dying. I do like the sentimental of them all growing up, and I like that they put the kayfabe reason why such people like Denny would not be children is because obviously the actor has fucking grown up. He's not 12 anymore. So he is growing up, and the rest you could get away with.
It would also be really hard to do in general.
Oh yeah, unless you deep fake them, which they're not doing. Like they age him down, which I fucking hate in films. They did it for William Dafoe in No Way Home, and I fucking hated it. But that's what I'm thinking of. It's a good ending, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't do it for the 40th. You do it when EastEnders is ending, where you have the past, where you could have all of the characters of the Queen Vic, and then you pan up, and you have all the characters just who are dead at a bar, and you could have Peggy and Pat as the landladies if the actors who plays Pat is still alive at that time. Because I think that would be a perfect way, because then you could have let's just say it ends in 5 years. You could have George ring the bell going, orders, final drink. So it ends, the credits play, then you pan up, and then let's just say you get a silhouette of Den Watts fucking around in the Queen Vic. He's messing with the electrics or something. And then you just have Peggy go, get out of my pub. And then one final time, you just have Pat slap Peggy going, you bitch. She slaps him going, you cow. That'd be a perfect ending. I know Peggy's a very hard one to do, but I'd do it. I think that would be the perfect ending. For the 40th, no. Sorry for my long-winded answer. That's my thoughts. And what I'd do.
We all done it. But yeah. How long is this video at? Do we want to see what other people think? Or
we're at 20 minutes nearly.
Fucking hell. Alright, I'll give a little brief overview, and I'll give a bit of a census. Census. Won't kill Linda off. Someone saying might be a Cindy death. Meaningful way to end an arc and give viewers happiness and show how far the show has come in 40 years. Beautiful. I like it. Lovely idea. Beautiful. Lovely. Yeah, fair enough. It's well received. I kind of imagine people be a bit like, nah, still fucking fake with me. How am I supposed to believe that they're all in heaven when heaven's not real? That's Ricky Gervais right there. Yeah, but no, it's received quite well.
I mean, what would you this is gonna be very dark, but fuck it. What would you rather, like them all up in heaven, or you just have George going, all right, final order, you final order, and then just pans to like hundreds of gravestones, just like here's Peggy, here's Dan, here's Pat, here's fucking Lofty.
I mean, as I always say, it is much nicer to believe that there is a heaven and you will be reunited with all of your like relatives or family or friends, you know.
Or shop.
That's always the lovely. I mean, you can understand why people believe, because if not, it's fucking bleak otherwise. But yeah. There we are. That is a way the 40th could end. We're going up to heaven. All of us, we're beaming up straight to heaven, straight into that little village in the clouds. Let's fucking go!